Brandon Bryant. He's Harlem Capital's managing partner.
Fund won $40 million, but now your firm is managing, what, $174 million in assets.
Guys, what
How are
up?
you?
Good to see
What's
you.
going on?
It's going well. Today is a big day. We're going to jump right in. We are focused on peak performance. And so we believe that Harlem Capital, that we want to treat ourselves like a high performance sports team. And what do all the best performers in the world have? They have coaches. So today you're going to see inside of me working with one of my coaches. I have a business coach, I have a therapist, I have a brand positioning coach, and today you're going to meet our improv coach that helps us with our storytelling. Why do we do these things? Why do we work with these coaches? Because the best in the world do. LeBron James has a sleep coach that helps him with recovery and being able to play till you're 42 years old. And Formula One drivers, they train in saunas in these hyperbaric chambers so that they can simulate what it will be like to be in a big steel ton car that goes 200 plus miles an hour. You want to practice at game speed so that when you're in the game, you can perform at your best. And again, our best right now is storytelling, brand, etc. In the future of AI, the only thing that's going to differentiate you is your brand. But make sure that you stay until the end because we're starting a new segment, new office, new segment, where we actually answer the comments that you have left on previous videos. What does that mean? You should leave more comments so I can answer more of them in future videos. So follow along. Yesterday, I was jumping on a Zoom call in my home office, and I was following up on a event that I hosted back in San Francisco at my new favorite restaurant, which is a Persian steak restaurant. And we had a big square table with 15 PhDs. And I was the only person in there who knew nothing about physics and math and this. And I would just sit and listen and watch people talk me in circles and then talk to me as a 5-year-old. And it was really fun. And so Mate, who I was about to follow up with, he did not come to the dinner. But I still was really interested in what he was working on. And he's trying to work on these things called semiconductors that are using sapphire. And I'm not lying. And so apparently sapphire, diamonds, all these different materials help cool AI chips faster.
I know we're really ringing this thing out, but this time, in addition to really capturing those sights and sounds, I want you to include the tastes, the physical sensations, the emotions that maybe you were feeling, other people were feeling. So imbue this with all of those sort of internal sensations, so emotion, physical sensation.
The glass is clinking, the wine flowing, the conversations going around people solving the future of AI, people solving healthcare issues. Just the chatter in a room was truly amazing. And so the call I was doing on Zoom at home in my office was with someone who didn't attend the dinner. And he jumped on the call and it was sunny on his skin. And I'm like, why does everyone who I call from Stanford want to take calls outside? And probably because I live in New York where it's very cold and freezing and it's been raining for the last few days. And as I'm jumping on this call, rain is hitting the window. So I'm sad. But Mate, who was on the call, he brightened my day by telling me about the future of energy. And so he's working on these big AI chips where he'd be on the screen doing this. He's like, I have AI chips that are made of sapphire. And he's showing it like this. And he's like, you need 100 of them to connect to the energy grid. And I'm working on a chip that's yay big. And I need 100 of them and they'll fit in one shoebox and connect to the grid. And he talked about what the future of that would be like. And in my head, I'm like, yo, you're creating something that could actually change the future of America. Hey, how's it going? How are you? No worries. I'm sure you've been grinding right now, just working. That's awesome. I really appreciate it. And help me understand, what's your nickname or what do you go by? I want to make sure I'm calling you by the right name. Oot. Oh, Oot is cool. I like that name. Where are you from originally? Okay, cool. Yeah, I went to Ohio State and I'm from Cleveland, so all of my roommates from high school who I went to Ohio State with, they're all Punjabi. So I was brown in undergrad. I was, yeah, so I was like, anytime I meet somebody, I'm like, what, Delhi? Are you Punjabi? Oh, Agra, yeah. And then I also, my last year of school, we went to Delhi, Mumbai, and Agra to see the Taj Mahal. Okay, cool. It's like a city of love, since that's such. I met my two business partners for Harlem Capital, Jared and Henri, 15 years ago. We were all sophomores in college and undergrad. We went to different schools, but we're in the same leadership program. So Jared was from Jersey, went to Wharton. Henri's from Detroit and went to Northwestern. Three of us interned together in finance and undergrad, and then we all moved to New York full time. We lived in Harlem. We were roommates. We worked at the same investment banks. About 2 years into that, we had this idea to invest in our neighborhood. So we did our own LLC and invested into small businesses, real estate, and then eventually early stage startups. And that led us to fundraise for our first fund. We now have two funds, 174 million across two funds, do a lot into the pre-seed and seed, typically $1 to $3 million, and six folks full time at the fund, three in New York, one in Miami, two in LA, and have done a lot in B2B, SaaS, AI, have done quite a bit in the healthcare space as well, and have been just building relationships with great people before they fundraise and kind of like go out and start their own company. So cool. So I will jump to here real quick. In terms of like just themes that we invest in themes over industries right now. We think that AI has kind of turned everything upside down, and many companies are pivoting from whatever they're even working on. So we're actually focused on people. It's really strong teams, but then also these themes. We think in the future, specifically with AI, like trust as a platform, the 24-hour employee, people who are rebuilding the digital world, leapfrogging legacy industries, anyone or management teams that are focused in that space, or sorry, in those themes, like we want to back them all day, especially if they have some insider knowledge, if they're a PhD from John Hopkins, et cetera. Like we assume that whatever theme that they build in, they'll be able to win. Awesome, man. We'll talk soon. Bye. Woo! Another one in the books. Wow, that was a hard one because pre-product, but second time founder who built in fintech, sold his fintech company to a publicly traded company, saw a problem that was happening internally at that publicly traded company, and now he's building a full product and suite around that. But it's just like so early, but the team is so good. So most likely we'll go to full team call next week. And if we can win, we'll probably invest. But oh man, I feel like being an investor is like whiplash. Like every single call is some person who did X and Y and Z, and you have to re-force rank who are the top people multiple times throughout every day. Like that's super hard. We're doing this new segment, Give Us Some Grace, where we're going to answer a few questions that are in the comments. Comment number one, they want to know how I went from working in finance to starting my own company. My two biggest advice points, number one is find the one or two skills that you are exceptional at, where like people come to you, ask you to do this thing. Maybe it's photography and video. Maybe it's for math. Maybe it's in science, or you're tutoring something. What are the one or two skills where your parents, your cousins, and other family members, your best friends, your teachers will say that you are exceptional at? Go deeper on those skills. Do whatever you can to sharpen those skills. Take improv classes, get a coach, do this, do that. Go online, find it on YouTube. Make those skills become your defining moments. And then number two is find 3 to 5 friends who you can test and build ideas out with, and try them as early as possible. It could be starting a lemonade stand. It could be selling candy at school. It could be raising money for your AAU basketball team. Your job is to do these small projects with a core group of people. And to be honest, you need to test to see if they're about that life. Would they put the work first? Can they think analytically? Can they storytell? Can they pitch? You want to really test out, are there like a strong group of like 3 to 5 people who not only you can do well in high school with and college with, but you can do well in the real professional world with. Comment number 2, I would love to see a video with the timeline of your life, how you got to your current position, how are you entering the venture capital world. Folks, I know this is probably one of our, 8th or 9th videos. If you haven't seen my first video, which is talking about how I'm running a firm, go check that out. I do talk about my story a little bit, but just high level, originally from Cleveland. I went to Ohio State for school, and I had an opportunity to intern in finance on Wall Street in New York and in LA. That's how I really got into finance, because I really figured out a way to go from a state school all the way to Wall Street. Typically, you got to go to Harvard, Yale, Dartmouth, et cetera, some Ivy League school, but I hustled. After I hustled, I met Jared and Henri, who are my business partners, and we were roommates. Like we were roommates, we lived in Harlem, and then we started an LLC. Our group text turned into an LLC because all these opportunities were coming up in our neighborhood. And then after we did the LLC, we did small business. We started to invest in real estate and eventually early stage startups. And down the line, we wanted to formalize that as a company. But maybe I'll do a video sometime in the future where I go deep dive on my entire journey. Let me know in the comments if that's interesting. All right, question number 3. One of my favorites, actually. How do you become an A player? How do I get into rooms with other A players? Folks, think about an A player. It's the easiest way is to think about it from a sports standpoint. Who is Messi and Cristiano? Who is the LeBron? Who is the Serena Williams? Who is the Simone Biles, right? How can you rank what is good versus what is great? So A players are people who really focus on their craft. So if you want to become an A player, number 1, you have to focus on your craft. As you focus on your craft, you start to surround yourself with what? Other top A players. And your job is to learn from them and have iron sharpen iron and compete. And then as you compete, if you can win over and over again, you just continually start to level up. So I think the number 1 thing is work on the craft. Number 2 thing, be around other A players. And then number 3, continue to perform on the highest level at whatever specific industry that is. Like for us, it's like $1 billion companies. Like the more $1 billion companies you get, the more A players you meet. For sports, maybe it's like the more championships, the more playoff runs that you have. For being a doctor, it's like the higher level of running hospitals, this, that, another. Just make sure that you are always trying to underpromise and overdeliver, exceed expectations, and you're always moving on to the next level. That is how you become an A player. So, guys, I appreciate all the comments. If you can leave more comments, we will have future segments where I answer more of your questions. Now, to end this video, I just want to share peak performance, the mindset. Our goal as Harlem Capital is to be treating ourselves like a high-performance sports team. I think you can do the same. What hard thing are you going to do today? What uncomfortable thing are you going to do today? How are you going to move forward and lean into fear today? Because on the other side of all those things is going to be success. I believe since I'm doing the work, I'm going to find my $1 billion company. What big, hairy, audacious goal are you going to run after today? I don't know, but if you're following along, hopefully this video will help you take one step further towards that goal.